Hello everyone and welcome to the podcast, a conversation between a Czech and a Russian. This is an informal chat between two friends about everything under the sun from the perspective of ordinary people who happen to live rather extraordinary lives. David and I have known each other over 8 years, and here he is sitting in front of me and smiling.
Hello.
As you can probably guess from his name, David is Czech and I'm Russian. Well, at least that's what it says in my passport. My name is Nikolay. Hi, David.
Hi, Nikolay. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, man. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sitting in my warm chair, feeling good. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, our podcast is still quite young. Today is just our second episode. In the first episode, David was the host and I did most of the talking, sharing why and how I moved to the Czech Republic and what life is like here for me. If you are interested, you can find the first episode on our channel. It was in Czech language, but today we'll be speaking in English, so we apologize in advance to all native speakers for our terrible accents. Last time I was the only one who apologizing.
And now I'm also apologizing for my terrible accent.
Well, I hope maybe it won't be that terrible. Maybe we overestimate our terribility. Well, anyway, today we are going to learn more about David, or David. How is better, David?
David is it's Czech version. David. I'm hearing both versions. Like, it's okay if you call me David or David.
Okay, well, I will alternate between David and David because I used to both names. Well, today we are going to learn more about David, who he is, what he does, and so on. But let's start from the beginning. David, could you share some basic information about yourself, like when and where you were born and what your childhood was like?
Okay, so I was born in 1989. Which was the year of Velvet Revolution in our country, so it's a very amazing date. And I was born in November, so it's same or a little bit before Velvet Revolution started. Okay. I remember my childhood like very gray, brown stuff, everywhere, the boxy buildings built by a communist government.
Okay.
But I have very good memories on childhood.
Well, like the day when finally Czech Republic became independent.
That's an amazing question. Do we have some tech for that? No, I'm kidding. So in 17 November 1989 started officially the Velvet Revolution. It was a process for another month and a half, and then we came to be Czechoslovak Republic.
Yeah.
But
apparently you don't remember much about that time because you were just born.
I was a baby.
Yes,
yeah.
But like I heard that you were born in Malešíce. It's some district in Prague.
Malešíce, yeah. That's okay. So I was born somewhere else because my parents had a friend in the hospital. How is it called? Porodnice hospital.
The place where children are born.
Yes, that's it. I'm thinking it has some special name, but never mind. So over there, I was born in Ostrov nad Ohří, which is like 80 kilometers away from Prague.
Okay.
And then we moved back to Malešíce, and I spent most of my life in there.
Okay.
So.
But like, let's say the period of your life between 0 and 7 years old, like what was your common activities? Because like, I was born in Russia, you were born here. Mm-hmm. I have my memory, I had quite a happy childhood, as I remember. But maybe some things that were obvious for me back then were not obvious for our listeners. So what was your common day, let's say, of 6 years old child? Did you have some friends? Did you play with them in the yard? Or how did you spend your day?
That was very good time for me because I was going to the kindergarten and I had many friends in there. We were playing on a playground. We had no stress, like now it's very different.
Okay.
We have a lot of duties, a lot of things to do. But before that, we were just playing. So I remember it was pretty safe in Prague by that time, and it still is. So that's important to say. But
I'm not holding a gun to his head. All right. Well, thank you. It was quite interesting to hear about your childhood. But let's move on. Let's move on to the next stage of your life. What about school? Did you have any hobbies or interesting activities back then?
So when I was going to school, to elementary school, I was playing ping pong.
Really?
For 1 year.
Wow.
I was going to the choir. So I was singing in a choir for 7 years, from 7 years till 13 years old. So I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I was playing tennis for 2 years.
You mean tennis or ping pong or both?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah. It's close to each other.
Yeah. It's interesting because honestly, maybe that's why we are connected at some point. Because also I was a big fan of ping pong back in school, and I even compete one time, and it was quite a good experience. I played a lot with my dad also.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Okay. Something else in the school? Like computer games or.
I spent a lot of time by playing computer games. I was shooting the soldiers in Call of Duty, and it's not an advertisement, I'm sorry. I loved the racing cars games, so like Gran Turismo on PlayStation, and Need for Speed, and all that. I was very addicted. I was playing whole day when my friends came to pick me up and go play soccer or anything. I said, no, I'm feeling sick. I will stay at home.
Yeah, well, I understand this addiction. I had the same experience. I could play, Civilization whole night, and then I was not able to go to school next day.
And also, I forgot I played Diablo, RPGs, or Fallout, or there was many other things. I forgot that. It's a long time ago. I'm not playing anymore now. Okay. There's no time for that.
Well, that's what happened when you become older. Yeah. At first you think, well, you have plenty of time, and then you don't have time for fun activities anymore. Oh. Okay, well, got it. Maybe we'll talk later more about your school years, but let's talk a bit about modern times. So here we are, sitting in your studio. Since I first saw it, it has undergone a lot of positive changes. In this same building, there are rehearsal rooms for musicians. As far as I know, this was your project, which is still alive and evolving. Could you tell us what it's all about, how you came up with the idea to open such a place, and where your interest in music comes from?
So, I have to go back to the choir times. Okay. So I was singing in a choir, and after that I was bored by singing in a choir because it was very, most of the songs were depressive. So I wanted always to play electric guitar. So I turned from singing in a choir to playing guitar.
Okay.
And then I wanted to make my first band, but after I found some guys, I had a problem to rehearse somewhere. Yeah. So we decided to rent some place. So we rented a place, and also we had a problem with the amount of the rent. It was too high for us because we were students. So we decided to ask someone or to put some. Advertising. So we put it on the internet, and in a while came many answers that we are looking for a rehearsal room. Could we share it with you? So I decided to rent another space and to fill it by musicians, and that's how it started. It was in 2007, I think 2008, something like that.
Yeah, well, you can't see it, but I must tell you, as I mentioned before, it's really this place changed a lot since first time I saw it in 2017. So now it looks like almost professional studio with all these monitors everywhere and special this soft walls. I don't know how they call
foam, acoustic foam.
Acoustic foam, yeah.
Anyways, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I mean, of course, I can share some interesting stories about what happened in the studio, but I will not.
It's forbidden.
Yes. Yes. So especially during COVID times, guys had a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in here
Rehearsing.
rehearsing. Yeah, absolutely.
But is it place like is it a business project? So it works well. You have like it pays off.
Yeah, everything works pretty well, and it survives the pandemics.
Yeah.
So because many of a lot of companies they bankrupt because they weren't able to continue.
Well, besides that, David does not only own the studio, but also he has his own musician band, Toxicat. I still am a big fan of Toxicat. Can you tell me something about Toxicat? How this band appeared?
Yeah, so it's also a long story, but let's say it started because I was playing electric guitar and I loved rock music, but also I started to love electronic music. So I decided to mix it together, and in 2019 I started to we built the project named Toxicat.
Okay.
So we started to make I started to compose synthesizers and guitars together, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, now Toxicat a bit changed. You can listen to their songs on the internet. Just Google Toxicat. They have a channel on Spotify, I think, and on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I'm honest person. I liked more old Toxicat songs. For me, the best were Song for Maya and Sad. David might not remember them even, but for me, I still have them in my playlist. And sometimes when I'm in the right mood, I listen to them. And every time Toxicat plays Song for Maya, I just go in the first row and just dance. Otherwise, I stand in the back. At first, Toxicat, like, it sounds for me like they had this violin player, Christoph, his name was?
Christoph,
yeah. And it was violin combined with this electronic music. It was amazing for me. Also, it was a good show because this violin, Christoph's violin had this lights on it. It was just like you go to different world. Of course, it was not like it was always very, very cozy events of that band. Yeah, it was great concepts. And also some by the way, David played on my wedding. Well, they didn't play electronic music, they played normal songs, but he helped me a lot with the wedding because him and his band, they played in our wedding, and my friends from all around the world, they said, who is this guy? He plays so good. Especially,
Really?
yes, especially when they sometimes they played a couple of their own songs, and especially those songs had the best effect on the crowd, on the young crowd.
It was a very good wedding, I remember that, and
Yeah.
it was very peaceful and nice.
Thank you. It was my third wedding, so I have a lot of experience.
Yeah, trust me, I visited more wedding celebrations, and somewhere the people were too drunk and they were fighting against each other. So
Ugh.
that was your wedding was great. Yeah.
Thank you. How they say, third time is a charm. My next question will be about about Daytrip company. Well, not Daytrip, but about our experience there. So yeah, in the last episode we mentioned the company Daytrip, which both of us have been working with almost since the company's beginning. Disclaimer: this is not a paid advertisement. So the idea is that we take tourists between different cities in Europe, kind of like an Uber for long distances. Also, in the early days, we were not only drivers but also guides. Could you share how you got involved with the company and maybe recall some interesting experiences from your time there?
Yeah, so Daytrip company, the company which is transferring thousands of people across the whole world. No, I'm kidding. It's not advertising. But so the first experience was in 2016, I guess, because I was transferring the bands by the van on a gig. Yeah, because I'm also interested to music industry, so I do a lot of things. Yeah, and I was transferring the bands, and one day one guy came and asked me if I wouldn't like to try something else that his friend is building up new company.
Okay.
Or he builds up the startup.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's I decided why not. So I called to the company and they invited me. I drove for a while with the guy who was the manager of the company, and he said, "Okay, we take you. You are, is it like that? We accept you, or
well, we will hire you." Well,
yeah, you're hired."
Yes, you hired is the right term.
So I started to drive for day trip, and I remember from the beginning. In the beginnings, they were accepting only the cash. So I remember we were collecting the cash. So I after like first week I drove, I earned like 1,500 euros, and I had it in my pocket. So I was like, oh my god, if something happened, I'll lose it all. So that was my. Yeah, like it was crazy.
I mean, like I joined day trip approximately in May 2016, but it was, I think, a bit later than you did, because in my experience also we also collected cash, but it was also some bank transfers also. So sometimes when you have some cash, you need to bring back the commission and stuff like this. Yeah.
But very early payments were done by cash. That's but maybe first 2 or 3 months, but then it turned to bank transfers and also cash. But now it's not very common anymore.
Yes. Now we almost don't have any cash on the transfers, and you struggle. Or at least I struggle because they pay us twice a month, and then the transfer takes like 5 days, and you just wait for this money to appear on your account, and they don't come. Yeah. And finally they come, and you're like, woohoo!
And you spend a lot of money for fuel, for the highway stamps or food on the road.
First you invest money into travel, and then you get paid. But, I mean, like honestly, for me, day trip again, it's not advertising, but we are just honest people who share experiences. For me, day trip helped a lot when I just moved to Prague, and it was one of my first jobs, and I didn't know what to do. So for me, it was amazing back then. So because the guy who moved just from Russia and doesn't know what to do, and I was like, and now here am I. I'm driving this car. I see all these beautiful castles and towns, and I talk to these interesting people from America, from India, from China, from anywhere, and I'm paid for it.
Yes,
it's just like it's crazy. And
I wanted to say I'm paid for it.
Yes.
I was waiting for that.
Well, do you have some interesting stories like about your trips? Let's say with clients, just some from the top of your head.
Sure, I have. I'm trying to pull out something from my head, from my mind. So
it's always like hard, like you have so many stories in your head, but when somebody asks about them, you forget them all.
I remember I was going to pick up some lady, and she had scheduled another passenger with her. So I came in front of a hotel. It was probably in Prague, and we were going to Vienna. It was like that. And I came in front of the hotel, and she came out, but just her came out. So she was from China, and she spoke English, but she wasn't very clear. She told something I didn't understand pretty well. So after 10 or 15 minutes, came outside her son. So that was the person we were waiting for. And then we were going to Korneuburg Castle, close to Vienna. And we had a nice walk, but that guy, the son, suddenly get lost. So we were looking for him. He was, I think he was 14, 15 years old or something like that, and he was in a little different universe because adolescent. He decided to run away somewhere. But I was looking for him. I wasn't able to find him, so I came back to his mother, and they were over there together. So it was like, what? Crazy. But they were fine at all.
The universe brought them together.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, it's fun. I never had this experience when I lost somebody, but I was close enough a couple of times, and sometimes I have this stress when the people, foreigners, tourists, they say to me, well, we will just walk around in the city, and then you think they go, and you forget to take the number, and then they're not here. 1 hour pass, and then finally they come. Yeah,
it happened to me also. But I remember I have another story when we were going by 2 cars, so 2 drivers, 2 cars, and it was one group, but split it to 2 cars.
Yeah.
And the first group didn't want to spend any time with the second group because they were parents of one of the couple I was driving for. And when we were coming because they had same stop, so we were coming on the parking lot, and they said, "Oh, please, could you take us somewhere else? We wouldn't like to spend the time with them. They are terrible." So
it's like parents said it or kids said it.
Younger. They were. I think that they were 35 years old, and the parents were like 60, 70 years old. Yeah. So there was something between them, some tension. I don't know what, but it was weird, very weird. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, yes, I know what you're talking about. This day trip, you meet very different people, from very different fields, and I had a similar experience with the parents and kids. So we stopped in Dresden, and I offered them, like, the group to show them Dresden, and they told me yes. And so we went. It was like me and my clients. So it was parents and their kids, and kids were like 20 years old, and parents were like maybe 50 or 60. And at some point, kids told me, "Okay, Nikolay, you show them around, and we will just walk around ourselves." So the parents were very interested in history. They asked me questions. What is this? What is that? And kids were just gone. Apparently, they went to the bar or something.
Party time. Yeah.
Party time. Yeah, well, in Russia, we have this classical author who wrote a famous novel, Fathers and Kids. Maybe it's not correct translation to English, but I think it was Dostoevsky or something. Well, sorry, maybe I make mistakes, but classical Russian author. And basically in this novel he explains, he talks about difference between older generation and younger generation, and this problem between older generation and younger generation exists like since the start of time. Since
evolution and all the stuff we
yes actually about this I remember one story I read somewhere long time ago. It was about some excavations in modern Iran. So it was, I think, Byzantium or something. So there were excavation archaeological research, and so they found there clay tablets from 3000 BC, before Christ. And on these tables, when the scientists, they learned what is written there, it was written, "Oh, these kids, they don't understand life. They will not survive this year. They wear weird clothes. They will listen to weird music." It was 3000 before Christ, and they had the same problems we have now. Yeah,
it's a generation problem, I guess. Yeah.
Well, yes, but I know also that some families they kind of have great relationships despite of the age difference.
I can say we do. In our family, it works pretty. It's great, simply great. We spend a lot of time together with my parents, with my daughter. I have a daughter, 8 years old. So we spend a lot of time together. Yeah, sometimes the daughter is too hyperactive and doing the things which are not correct. I can say it many times that stop it. It's not good for you. But she always do that. So, it's only one thing. But later we will see if she will not like the same music like me and all this stuff. But with parents, it's okay. Yeah.
How old is your daughter, by the way?
8 years.
Well,
8 years old.
And her name is Maya.
Maya. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, as many smart people say, kids have to learn on their own mistakes, and yes, you tell them don't do this, don't do that, but they will do it eventually, and then they will hit their head, and then they will learn. Okay, my father was right, actually.
Yes, I say that always.
But that's why what I like about Czech people in general, and David in particular, that I have many examples of this. Many Czechs are very connected with the family, and my wife, she is the same. She's Czech, and she goes to see her family every week, her grandmother, her parents, and I think it's a good thing. So, and it's great that you spend time with your family, with your dad. I think you are building the house, or you...
Oh yeah, the summer house. It's the structure which was built when I was born. Mm-hmm. So and it was in very good condition for like 15 years, but then it started to have some issues. So now we are rebuilding that together with my father.
Well, common activities unite people. Well, and David has been showing me pictures of this summer house. I think since maybe 5 years ago, and still it's under construction. So, but
it's very similar. It didn't change a lot, but there is a lot of work. It's
yes. He invited me several times to visit him there when it was when it will be done. Still, I haven't seen the place, but according to pictures, it looks very nice. I think you are doing a great job.
I guess that I will invite you when we will be in pension. Yeah, retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I will put that in my calendar. All right. Well, we don't have that much time left, but well, I mean, like we are trying to stick to half an hour in our podcast. But I have this final, a bit tricky question for you.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. What do you think about Russians in Prague and in general? Have you had any interactions with them through work or in your personal life? And I'm not talking about myself.
So, besides you,
yeah,
I have because I'm renting right now. How many studios? I think it's over 50 studios in Prague. I'm renting to the bands and for rehearsing or for studio. And there is I think that there is one Russian guy above our floor, and he's very good. I like him. If he says something, it works always. So that's important. And he's a very good person. And other ones, I know many musicians. Many musicians are Russians, and I think that musicians globally are very good very good people mostly. Yes. So that's in case of my business, most of the Russians are fine and good persons.
Nice.
Yeah. But in other experiences from our neighborhood, from Malešice, are that some of the apartments are owned by Russians, and some of them they couldn't behave pretty well. They are, they have like very loud car, and they are getting RPM high, and or doing some mess, like throwing the stuff on the ground. But it's not only about the Russians. I think it's also a very global thing. You could meet the guys from US, which are very good, and guys which are not good, and same with Russians. So it's about the people. I totally agree on this statement. I mean, there are good people and bad people in every country, and it depends what you focus on. And as you said about this community of musicians, when people have common interests, actually these borders, they disappear. Borders like country borders. Same I can say about HEMA community, this fencing community. When you go on tournament, everybody is a friend. Yes, we fight on the rink, but then you come to each other, you shake hands, you talk about stuff that you both have interest in, and almost nobody talks politics. It's connecting or joining the people together. So that's all these activities.
Yeah,
if you have same interests. Mostly people don't care about your nationality or anything.
Yeah, correct. Well, it's nice that you have good experience. Well, mainly good experience with the Russians. I mean, like I'm not here to protect or attack Russia. I have my passport, but I think it's kind of. It doesn't matter where you were born. It matters
who you are.
Who you are. Yes. Yeah. What person are you? Well, for me, it's all for today. At least I don't have any more questions for you. Thank you for your answers and for organizing this podcast overall. I always enjoy our meeting, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and preparing this interview.
Okay, you're very welcome. And please subscribe, put likes, any comments. Again, we really like to read your comments, Petr, Ksenish, especially yours. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.